Hello YouTube. So it's time I did a video. I haven't done a video in a while, and I've been getting some gentle nudges from some friends of mine to actually go ahead and do one. So I'm actually going to write off of a conversation that I was having with a good friend of mine, Tomm Stone, who's also a really great YouTuber, and I'll put the link to his channel in the show notes. Um, but we were talking about love and defining love. What is love? And how do we go into a place where we're starting to define what love is? And I think it's a question that a lot of us don't sit with often enough. It's important for us to take the time to ask these questions. And it's not that we're seeking an answer, it's just that we need to ask, what is love? So that we can start to define what it is in this moment, because love is something that evolves, it's something that changes. Love is messy, love is tactile, love is dangerous, love is fluid, love is painful, love is all of these things and none of these things. And what a lot of us do is we hold our past experiences up to our present and then try to define our future based on all of that. And it gets really messy because what we loved back then may not be what we're loving in this moment. Who we are is constantly changing. So our definitions of these concepts like love, happiness, joy, peace, these things change. And so we have to ask these questions. What is love right now in this moment? And am I able to express love? And am I expressing love towards myself and towards those around me? Love is unconditional. It is us that place conditions on love. So an example of that would be, I'll love this person more if they cut their hair. Or I'll love this person more if they start doing this. Or I'll love this person more if you do X, Y, and Z. Or I've loved you less because you no longer do this. Or I'll love myself more if I lose 10 pounds. Or I'll love myself more if I'm able to do this yoga posture. So we start to place these constrictions on that limitless space that love actually is. Love is limitless. Love is powerful. Love is all of those things. And it is painful sometimes. Love means that we have to go into a place of vulnerability. It means that we have to move beyond those barriers and those boundaries. And if we're able to move into a place where we're placing less constrictions on love, and it doesn't mean I have to keep people in my life to love them. It just means that I can't put them out of my heart. It doesn't mean you have to be my life, but it means that you still have a place in the heart. It means that my love for you is unconditional, but I don't need to have that experience in my life anymore. And we have to love those things that have built us up into who we are. We love our pain as much as we love our joy. Pain is also a teacher. Heartache is a powerful teacher. And it comes to that place of love, to the place of a relationship, what we're mirrored back, who we are evolving into, and who we are becoming. And when we start to look at love and what our conditions are on love, we can start to loosen up a bit in that space. We can start moving into greater states of connection, states of acceptance. Where are my boundaries to loving myself without condition? Look at the world, nature outside. Nature is this powerful entity that loves us unconditionally, even though we're doing all we can to destroy it. It still produces oxygen and food and sustenance, and the sun rises and it sets and the moon comes out and the stars shine in the sky, and all this happens without condition. It just happens. And you can look at that as this powerful love story. And I like to think that we are expressions of divinity living this experience as a very powerful love story. And love stories contain tragedy, but it also contains transcendence. And it's powerful when we're able to see that and to experience it, because we're letting go of those things that keep us from loving. We're letting go of the stuff that's not allowing us to be present in our presence. to be here now, to be in love with the journey. In relationships, we have to remember that sex isn't love. Intimacy isn't love. Those things can become expressions of love, but they in itself, the act is not love. It's just an act. Love is all the other stuff that comes in. It's the gentle touches. It's being able to love the other person even in their flaws and brokenness. It's being able to help move through the shards of our own experience and to be vulnerable, to let our walls down enough so that we can see each other for who we actually are and not the various masks that we wear. Because when you fall in love with the mask and the mask falls off, then you're still in love with the mask. And the reality is there, we may not love that reality, and we may have to do some big leaps to get to that point. This is why it's so important when we come into a place of shared space that we allow vulnerability, that we allow ourselves to be present with one another. But we also have to know that we don't have to give up who we are in order to be in that space, because we have to love ourselves first, and we have to love ourselves without condition. And if I'm going to start giving up pieces of myself so that this other person will love me more, then I'm losing and I'm engaging control space. And it's not, relationships are about compromise, but it's not about losing who you are in that space. And it's really important to remain in the presence of who you are, but also to hold space for the person to be who they are. And that's love, because that's non-conditioned. You know, it's saying, I'm allowing you to be you in all of your pieces and all of your parts, and all of who you are is welcome at the table. And I think communication and is one of the biggest things, that it's the most important thing I feel in a relationship, because communication allows us to sit with these aspects, like what are we loving right now? And these are the things I love about you. And not a lot of us will talk about those things. We'll say I love you, but we don't talk about the things that we love. These are the things I love about you, and these are the things that are important in this relationship, and this is who I'm becoming because of you, and who we're sharing this space, and who we're moving and shifting ourselves into. And it's a constant state of evolving, but love helps us to do that. And there's other things that are also stacked in there, so there's just one little sliver, but love is something important, and it's something important to talk about, and it's something important to think about. So give yourself some time right now to think about where you're placing constrictions on love. Where are my limitations with love? And can I move beyond those limitations? And you don't have to, but we have to look at where those limitations are. It doesn't mean we have to let all those boundaries and all those limitations go. It just means I have to know where they are, so that when I'm ready, I can release. Especially if we're using our past as an echo to what love should be, because that's in the past. It's a reason why it's there. Love changes, we evolve, we change, we grow old, we get sick, we die. We evolve, we change, we get smarter, wiser. The past is the past, the present is now, and now is what we'll base the future on. Don't hold your past up as a definition to what love should be, because we get into a dangerous territory. You know, it's all murky and muddy back there. And yes, it's part of the collective of who we are now, but it's not this moment. It's back then. It no longer exists. It has ceased to exist. All that exists is what's present now. And what am I loving now? Allow yourself to take a few moments right now. Get out your journals and write down the question, what is love in this moment? And what am I loving unconditionally in this moment? So, I hope that was not too much of a tangential leap through my mind, but it is what it is. And I hope you all have a wonderful, wonderful day. You are all loved. You are all beautiful. You are all divine. Namaste.